So, Disney is being investigated by the FCC because of their DEI practices. There's an official investigation into Disney for their DEI practices. Now, interestingly, I think, amazingly, this individual, M. Montanaro, and that Park Place is cited in the official documentation of the FCC investigation. Good on them. Effectively, basically saying, hey, this is where some of the information came from. It's mad. But also it's hilarious that Disney's being investigated, which they should be. You shouldn't be doing corporate sanctioned racism and sexism. Corporate sanctioned bigotry has no place in the Western world. So let's take a look at this. Hit subscribe if you are new here. Do turn those bell notifications on, especially if you're a returning viewer that's not yet subscribed. Would mean the world to me. So, Disney DEI practices under investigation by Trump-appointed FCC chairman Brendan Carr for potential EEO violations. This is big. Well, it could potentially be big at the very least. I mean, an investigation is not a small thing. It's a pretty big deal. So the Federal Communications Commission has officially launched an investigation into the Walt Disney Company and its ABC News unit, signaling a new phase of regulatory scrutiny over corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. This probe, initiated under the leadership of newly appointed FCC Chairman Brendan Carr, is part of a broader federal effort stemming from an executive order signed by President Donald Trump in January. So in a letter dated Friday from Carr to Disney CEO Bob Iger, the FCC informed Disney that it intends to examine whether the company's DEI initiatives comply with federal equal employment opportunities regulations. They don't. Obviously, they don't. Specifically, the letter raised concerns about whether certain DEI policies at Disney and ABC may constitute invidious discrimination in violation of FCC rules. We are reviewing the Federal Communications Commission's letter, and we look forward to engaging with the Commission to answer its questions, a Disney spokesperson told CNBC in response to the announcement. Yeah, I bet you do. Isn't it funny, these people, they think that they're so woke they can't lose. They're like, no, because we're woke. There's such virtue here. We can't possibly fall. No. Yeah? This is mental. Anyway, so the investigation follows a similar inquiry launched in early February into Comcast and NBC Universal. Both actions are part of a coordinated federal push to scrutinize diversity-based corporate practices. Corporate sanctioned bigotry. It's all it is. Particularly those tied to hiring, training, and internal promotions. So under the January executive order, each federal agency was instructed to identify up to 9 potential civil compliance investigations into publicly traded companies, non-profits, and other entities, including universities and government contractors. The directive encourages agencies to evaluate whether DEI programs in practice are treating employees differently based on race, sex, or other protected characteristics. Well, obviously they are. It's literally in their code of conduct. A concern echoed in recent debates over the legality and fairness of corporate diversity initiatives. There is no legal framework for this. It's against the law. It's racism. Obviously. For decades, Disney focused on churning out box office and programming successes, Carl wrote in his letter to Iger. But then something changed. Disney has now been embroiled in rounds of controversy surrounding its DEI policies. Comedy gold. So while Carr's statement stopped short of accusing the company of wrongdoing, the language marks a clear shift in tone from the FCC, an agency traditionally focused on communications and broadcast regulation. Under Carr's leadership, the Commission appears poised to expand its oversight role in employment practices, particularly in industries under its purview, such as television, radio, and broadband services. Now, I will say this. That's good, but it's only good them expanding their sort of framework and how they can control stuff. It's only good as far as it is under the control of a right-wing party, right? That's true. Because if the FCC then falls back under the control of the Democrats at some point or another, oh my God, it's going to go bad. And this is why government control on things can sometimes really backfire. And those calling for government control, like clamping down on free speech, right? For instance, in the UK, people bang on about free speech in the UK all the time and clamping down on that, and we should control this, you should control that. When it's a subjective matter, right? It's not objective truth, it's a subjective thing. When it's a subjective thing down to personal opinion and politics, that should not be mandated by law. Because it's only as good so far as the ruling power favours your side. Right? But a lot of people don't have that prudence. They're like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's good for now. It's like, yeah, okay, just wait then. When that pendulum eventually swings, my God. And it will swing hard. So, whilst I agree that it's good right now that the FCC are doing this, I will say I don't agree with it wholesale. Right? But if it gets Disney and other companies back in line and removes all of this nonsense, then I'm game anyway. Right? But it's just not ideal that this is something which has to happen. And I'm sure some people will agree with me. You might not, but some people might. So an FCC spokesperson declined to comment further on the specifics of the investigation, citing ongoing nature of the review. Disney's evolving approach to internal policy has drawn both praise and criticism in recent years. The company has made headlines for its high-profile efforts to increase representation across its programming, staffing, leadership ranks. While advocacy groups have applauded those initiatives, others have raised questions about whether the implementation of such policies aligns with federal non-discrimination standards. So changes to Disney's public-facing DEI branding, such as the quiet retirement of the Reimagine Tomorrow and Stories Matter initiatives, have already been the subject of independent reporting. One such expose, which was published on That Park Place, was directly cited in the FCC's letter to Disney, signalling the growing influence of alternative media in shaping national regulatory conversations. And there you go, you can see it right there. Friends of the channel, That Park Place. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. So there you go. There's not a lot else to say here. It does say legal analysts say that the FCC will likely begin by requesting internal documentation from Disney and ABC, including DEI training materials, hiring data, HR policies, and then the commission could hold hearings or issue findings that may require corrective measures. Public disclosures. I mean, this is mad. The FCC then has the authority to refer matters to the Department of Justice. This could go big. This could go really, really big. But there you go. They're under investigation for DEI. And so they should. Leave your thoughts down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.